How I would explain AMD is you see one plant growing taller than another plant in your experiment, or maybe in the garden, and you want to go understand why.
So AMD is phenomenon driven. That means we're looking at phenomena that are typically of relevance. Oftentimes phenomena that emerge in our changing world of work. Now, organizations struggle with these phenomena sometimes too. So they need answers to things like, how do you work remotely? How do you work in a changing office? How do we create more diverse teams and make them even more effective than the ones that we had before? And as organizations struggle with these things, researchers bring some understanding to these phenomena through this process of exploration and discovery.
When I came on board, I actually thought we had a relatively small community. It turns out we have a very large community of folks that are passionate about this idea and want to help authors and want to serve as associate editors. And they come from all different disciplines. They come from hard science backgrounds. They come from education backgrounds, healthcare backgrounds, obviously traditional management, psychology, sociology backgrounds. But what connects everybody is that they see phenomenon happening in the real world that aren't well explained, and they want to not only provide an outlet for folks to publish those findings, but they also want to guide new authors in this education.
I'd say there's several purposes that I find very exciting in the AMD mission. I think one is this idea of allowing researchers the freedom to explore, to dig into data, to even do data mining, to find something that might be interesting and unexpected and probe deeper. So really the spirit of exploration rather than having a theory that you're testing from the outset and kind of confined by. Another thing is I think this aspect of being very approachable as a journal, helping the researchers to communicate their results to the public. And finally, the spirit of rigor, of really trying to push forward the science in the best way possible.
Exploratory means you're observing something in real life from firsthand, from real managers, and you're finding that that's not quite consistent with what you know from theory, from the literature, and you find that puzzling. What is common is, I think, an interest in what's really going on in the world. Because in the end, we want to understand what's going on, and that process build theory and extend theory, but we want to understand what's really happening.
AMD has led us to appreciate the data that we otherwise would have thrown away. I come to appreciate that very often data that I would otherwise have sort of neglected, or parts of phenomena that I wouldn't have encountered, that those parts could also be interesting to the community.
It's not as prescriptive as many other journals are in the way that the papers need to be structured, in the way that the phenomenon needs to be studied, and so on. And that liberating experience around AMD is one that I cherish, and that I think we need to bring to phenomena that are poorly understood, under-theorized, and yet of importance for our understanding of the workplace in general.
Really what I hope is that doctoral students, when they put their lives into context and gathering data on things that we don't yet understand, and really it's one of the best times in your life to do this is when you're a doctoral student, is that they think about AMD as their primary outlet for those findings. Because that's really why AMD was created. It's to give those researchers that are really going after what's happening in the real world a place to talk honestly and openly about that journey and to open up new avenues for research.